paycheck to paycheck. Is that you? I'm the CEO of 5 different companies. I wasn't born into it. We lived on welfare, but I wanted more. I created this show, The School of Wealth, helping people escape poverty like I did. I want to help you out of that consumer debt, teach you how to increase your credit score, teach you how to make more money at your current job or your current business, and then how to actually create generational wealth without changing your lifestyle. It is going to be a lot of fun. This is not like regular school. Hey, I'm Rondi Lambeth, and this is the School of Wealth. All right, we are live, Chasney. We got some people already logged in. Give me a thumbs up if you guys can hear me. So, can you hear me, Chasney? Chasney's actually in the studio next to me, right over. Nope, that way. Camera. Wait, no, that way. That way. So, anyway, having fun. Hope you guys are doing great. Got our audio. We've still been having a problem with the audio. I don't know what happened last week. We still can't figure it out. So we are using a different audio system. So hopefully you guys can hear it okay. All right. Looks like it sounds good. Cool. All right, everybody. Let's get started. Tonight, I want to talk about two things. Number one, Fortress University goes live in 12 days. 12 days, June 1st, Fortress University's live, which is how to increase your credit score, how to pay less taxes, how to pay off a mortgage in 7 to 10 years without changing and making extra payments, how to drive a Ferrari for the cost of a new Toyota Camry, how to start a business, how to invest in real estate using a Roth IRA, how to buy crypto using a Roth IRA so you never pay taxes on it. Think about that. Buying crypto, making millions of dollars potentially, and never paying one dime in taxes. So inside Fortress University, I teach you how to do this. It goes live 12 days, June 1st. And it includes free credit repair for life for you. And if you want to add a second person to it, whether it's your girlfriend, boyfriend, brother, sister, aunt, uncle, neighbor, you can add them on it 50% less. And the best part, it's 100% tax deductible for Fortress University. Unlike credit repair, can't deduct it. Can't deduct a lot of that, what I just taught you. But because it's through Fortress University, you can deduct it if you're a business owner. If you're not, there is a course inside Fortress University that teaches you how to become a business owner. The second thing I want to talk about is how to successfully use balance transfer checks. Now, a balance transfer check is a check from your credit card company. So I get generally 2 of them a month, or I get 2 sets of 3 checks every month. So I get essentially 6 checks every single month from my 2 Citibank credit cards. They're both American Airlines credit cards. One is a black, I think it's executive card, and the other one's like the elite card or something. But through American Airlines or through Citibank, but they're American, branded for American Airlines. And so every month they offer me balance transfers. And what balance transfers are is if you use a credit card and then you pay it off in full every month, credit card companies don't make really any money. Now, Visa makes money, MasterCard makes money, Discover, American Express. They make money through the merchant fees. The merchant providers make money, but the actual credit card that issued, the bank that issued you that credit card, did not make any money from those transactions. So for example, I take my Chase card or my Citi card, that's what we're talking about right now. So I'll just pull it out so you guys can See, it's a black. So there's the metal one. I mean, the plastic one is gray. And then the executive one is actual metal. You can see it there. There you go. Okay. So when I run this card, which is actually, I think it's a MasterCard. It is. It's a MasterCard, not a Visa. MasterCard. So it's a Citi MasterCard branded for American Airlines. When I run that and I buy something, they don't make any money. MasterCard doesn't. I'm sorry. Citibank does not make any money. MasterCard makes money because it is a MasterCard. So when it runs through the merchant account, they take a piece, about 1.5%. If I use that credit card to purchase American Airlines tickets, American Airlines saves money on the processing fee because it's a Citi card branded for American Airlines. So American Airlines saves it. That's one of the reasons that they issue these cards. They also get a kickback. Okay. Now, Citi, if I use the credit card every month and I'm buying American Airlines, I'm buying gas, groceries, whatever, car insurance, whatever, Citi doesn't necessarily make any money if I pay it in full every month. If I don't pay it in full, they make interest, and it's like 19% interest. 70% of people, 70% of people do not pay their balances in full. So 30% of the time the bank's not making money, 70% of the time they are. And that's why they'll do rewards and points and bonuses, etc. Like that card, I can get in the clubs at the airlines. I don't pay for luggage if I was flying American Airlines and I didn't have a first class ticket, or if someone was with me, I could check their luggage for free. There's some other benefits, free car insurance on rental cars, triple extended warranty. So like, I don't have to carry insurance on this. A lot of people have insurance on their phones, right? Well, if you use a signature card, if I drop this, it's covered. If I lose it, it's covered. Generally for 2 to 3 years. So what's that mean? If you bought the phone with the card and I lose the phone, I simply call the card company, I file a claim, and they basically give me a credit for the cost of the phone. I just go buy another phone. Okay? That's how it works. TV, AirPods, anything electronic. So they put extended warranties on these electronic products. So that's the benefits of the Citi card. Now, the other benefit is the balance transfer. When you pay your credit card off in full every month, they're like, we're not making any money off of this dude. He's paying his balances in full. How can we make money from him? Let's give him money for 18 months at 0% interest. And so that's what they do. Every month with my statement, we'll have 3 checks in it. I have 2 credit cards, so I get 2 sets of 3 checks. So I get 6 checks a month. And the way it works is this. I can borrow up to my credit limit. So on the one card, it's like $45,000 or $50,000. On that black one, $45,000 or $50,000 credit limit. So I could literally take the check. I could write a check to myself. I could write a check to you. I could write a check to Capital One. I could write a check to GMAC, where my truck is financed, or whatever. So I write a check just like I would with my normal checkbook. And as long as it's less than 45,000 or 50,000, whatever my limit is, plus the balance transfer fee, which is generally 1%, they'll cash it. So let's say my credit limit's 50,000 and I owe 0. So I have 50,000 available. 1% of that would be 1% times 50,000 would be $500. So I could write a check for $49,500 with the balance transfer check. I write my name on it, sign the back. I go to the bank, I deposit it into my bank account, or I do whatever I want to do with it. Pay off a loan, pay off another credit card. And that's today I want to talk about how you can use it to get out of debt faster. Okay. So you write a check for $49,500. plus the $500 balance transfer fee maxes out that credit card. And now I have a $50,000 balance, but I have $49,500 in my checking account. And I'm going to have 0% interest for 12 or 18 months, depending on what option I picked. So for 12 months, it's 1% transfer fee. For 18 months, it's 1.5%. So for an extra $250, I can get free financing for 18 months. So here's how it works. Let's say that you have a credit card at 21% interest and you can do a balance transfer. So you write a check from Citi or whatever card it is, you pay off the other card that was a high interest rate. And instead of making that payment to that other credit card that you were trying to pay off with a high interest rate, you take 100% of that money and you put it towards your Citi. Now you got 12 to 18 months of no interest. Here's where most people screw up. They will go 12 to 18 months without making a payment. And then they're like, I'll make a big payment at the end. I'll save a little bit every month and then I'll make a big payment at the end. It rarely happens. You know how I know it rarely happens? Due to the fact that the bank is offering you a balance transfer and 0% interest for 18 months. If people paid off that check, that balance in 18 months, they wouldn't be offering those checks. See, the average person will pay off one credit card, max out the other one with the balance transfer check, and then start using the other card again because they're freed up cash. They got cash to burn now. Instead of putting money in the savings account, instead of paying off the balance transfer, they go and max out the other credit card. And in 18 months, they got 2 maxed out credit cards now at 21% interest. And that's why the banks offer these checks. It's kind of like a crack dealer, a meth dealer, standing on the street corner, giving out little baggies of meth, free samples. Free samples. Remember that movie? It was American Gangster with Denzel Washington, based on a true story. He built his entire empire by offering free samples. All his guys on the corners would give out free samples of crack. People would smoke it, get addicted, come back. Now you got a customer for life until they die, basically, or go to prison. Because very few people get off of meth. Some people do, but not very common that they get off meth without being thrown in the pen or dying, right? So it's not very common. But so that's what they do. It's like crack. It's free for 18 months. You don't pay it off. So what can you do to make sure you pay it off and it helps you out in the long run? Well, you pay off the high interest credit cards, you take the extra payments, and you immediately start making payments to the 0% credit card. And you set it up so that card is paid off in 18 months. Now, what happens if it's not? Well, what'll happen is this. When you pay off the one credit card, you max out the balance transfer check. A lot of times that credit card company will increase your credit limit. So if you started with 10,000, you max it out with the balance transfer, they give you a $20,000 credit limit. Or you simply apply for another one. And that's how I ended up with 2 Citi cards. I used to have 3, but when I got divorced, that card was in Michelle's name. So she took me off of it, closed it. It was our Costco card. And then it's now back in her name. So I used to have 3 of them. And that's how we got it. We got a Costco card. Then they gave us American Airlines, and they gave us second American Airlines. And I get these pre-approved offers all the time from Citi to get more cards. See, once you've showed them that you're going to use the balance transfer, they'll keep offering you more and more and more. And now how it works is if you can get 2 of them, the Citi cards, and all of them do this. All of the credit card companies will do some type of, not all of them, the majority of the big credit cards, Chase, City, etc., will give you these balance transfers. And so once you're in and you get a second one, you literally use one, pay off a bunch of debt, make all the payments, try to get that as low as possible. When you get to that 12 to 18 months, use the second one to pay off the first one. Yes, it'll cost you 1% or 1.5%, but you get it at 0% interest. So you're saving 20 to 30% for the year. So you pay the 1% up front. So you borrow, max this one out through balance transfer to pay off this card. And then you use this card to pay off this one in a year. And then in a year, you use this card to pay off that card. Does that make sense? So you got 3 cards, 2 balance transfers, the other one. And you just go back and forth between them, right? And as long as you continue to make the payments and do this, they will constantly offer you balance transfer checks. Now, because they're getting that 1% cash up front, guess what? They made some money, right? Remember, if they wrote me a check for $50,000, $49,500, they're going to make $495. Now they made some money off of me. Did they lose money? No, they made money, but they could have loaned it to someone else. But with banks, because they're publicly traded and they're regulated and they have certain things they got to do and certain investments they got to do and certain requirements for interest for their shareholders, they'll do small loans like that to me and make 1%, but then they'll try to make it 30% on the other side. And so it's not that they want to lose money, but they're trying to diversify because they know that I will make the payments because I've showed them that I'll make the payments. And my credit score tells them I'll make the payments. So it's kind of a safe bet for them. They're just hoping that I don't pay it off. Because if I don't pay it off, I owe interest. And here's what's messed up about it. Let's say I borrow $49,500. I pay $495 for the 1% fee. I go 17 months and I make all my payments. And I get it all the way down from $49,500 all the way down to $1,500, all the way down to $100. But I don't pay off the full amount by the 12th month. I miss it by 1 day. I pay interest on the full $49,500 for that full year. Even though I paid every single month, and even though I only owed maybe $500 at the end or $100 at the end, I will pay interest as if I never made a single payment. And that's where they get you. A company that's famous for this is Care Credit. Care Credit is an amazing company. If you have poor credit and you have a dog, you go to the dentist, go to the chiropractor, anything like that, I highly recommend you get a Care Credit card. It is 6 months, same as cash almost all the time, sometimes 12 months, same as cash. But again, 6 months, same as cash. But if you don't pay it off in full, you're going to pay interest on the entire 6 months. So that's where they get you. They get you on the interest if you don't pay it off in the long run, and they get you on the short term if you don't pay it off in that 12 months. Okay? So that's how you use a balance transfer check. And they can be very, very successful as long as you're disciplined and you pay off the one credit card with the balance transfer. You throw all that money towards the balance transfer account and try to get paid off as fast as possible. All right, that's really all I wanted to talk about today. I want to open the rest of it up to you. So if you have any questions regarding credit, put it in there. If you want to come on the show, there's a link in there that Chastity posted on. You can come on live, ask your question. You can also just type it in. Stephen Hill says, Care Credit. Yes, Care Credit. Care Credit is works primarily with dentists, doctors, chiropractors, plastic surgeons, and veterinarians. I've had a Care Credit account for, I don't know, 14, 15 years. They're great. When I take Sawyer to the vet once a year or so, I'll throw it on Care Credit. When I get my teeth clean, I'll throw it on Care Credit just so it's a constant. I get that activity and they don't close it. That is one of those accounts that you can have a long time. They rarely ever close it due to inactivity. You would have to go years without using it before they close it. Because what happens is this, the person goes to the doctor, the dentist really is paying the interest for you. And so it's 6 months, same as cash. The dentist is working that in. So say the dental procedures, $100. The dentist is going to pay Care Credit $10 to $15 to use that card. And then Care Credit finances it and makes the interest if you don't pay it off in 6 months. It's kind of how that works. The actual merchant pays the fee. Similar to our, when we finance, we're paying the fee up front to our finance company. And then if the client pays interest or finance fee, the bank gets to keep that in addition to the money that we pay too. So we basically pay 10%. So if you bought something like Fortress University, you buy it from me and it's $2,000. I'm going to pay Benefits, who finances it, $200. And when it's done, I make $1,800 essentially. Okay. So that's the same thing with Care Credit, but I highly recommend getting the Care Credit card. All right, let's see here. Here's a question, Chesty. There we go. Trying to get a loan to buy a truck, but I need $8K. I need $8,000, have $5,000 down. Where can I go? My credit score is 700, but I can't get the loan because SSI, Social Security income that you're on. That's a really good point. I want to bring it up. Credit scores, your credit score, and you actually don't have a credit score, by the way. Your credit report or your credit file has a score. You don't. But we'll call it your credit score. Your credit report's score will never, you hear that? Will never get you approved for a loan. It only gets you in the door. It only opens up the opportunity to get the loan. It is, can you qualify? Are you able to pay back the loan that gets you the loan? It's never the credit score. Now, the credit score will 100% of the time get you denied a loan if the score is not within their requirements, their parameters, but it never gets you approved. Case in point, you can have an 850 credit score. You go to buy a house, you have no income, you're not getting the loan for the house. Plain and simple. Cars, Stephen, the last 4 vehicles I've bought, that's not even the right word. The last 4 vehicles I've financed and purchased, I did not provide a paycheck. My credit score is high enough, I didn't have to. And I've had so many car loans and never had a late payment that they know of, because I deleted them from a long time ago, that I have a really high FICO auto score. And I break that up and I say it separately because there's a difference between auto, mortgage, credit cards, etc. So a very high FICO audit score. So in the last 4 vehicles I've financed, I have not been asked to show any proof of income. So I'd work on that. But you're saying you're trying to get a loan, you need 8K, but you have 5K. So you need 8,000 to put down. So that's a 8,000 put down. That would be what, a $40,000 vehicle with 20% down? Unless you want an $8,000 vehicle and you have 5,000 down, I know lots of banks would loan you money in a heartbeat if you're going to do that. So I'm not sure what you mean on that. But generally, they don't ask. If your credit score is high enough, and you said you have a 700, it's probably a 700 Vantage credit card score. because there's credit monitoring will give you a Vantage or FICO score, and it's a credit card score or a personal finance score. They're not auto loan scores. So you'd have to go to a car dealership, have them pull your FICO beacon score to get the auto loan score. Okay. And it could be an 850. I mean, I've talked about this before. My neighbor in Tahoe, her name was Beth. Beth had an 820, 830 FICO score. And she'd never financed a vehicle ever in her life. She's older than me. And she'd never been to a dealership in her life. So she asked me to go with her to buy a brand new car. So I went with her, and she ended up having like a 620 credit score. She was freaking out. She thought they were trying to rip her off. And I'm like, no, Beth, it's because you've never financed a car before. So that's why your credit score is 620. You got lots of credit cards, so your FICO is 830 on the credit card side, but it's a 620 on the car side. So you might have a higher credit score, Stephen, on the FICO auto score. So I'd say go in. But if it's an $8,000 vehicle and you're putting $5,000 down, I don't know of a single bank that wouldn't finance you with a 700 personal credit card score. It's just, they're going to do it. Usually you need 20% down. I mean, for the most part, I work with a lot of buy here, pay here things. And if you put 20% down, they can get you financed regardless of your score. So let's get that one, Justin. Okay. Hey, Linda, what are the green dot bank cards? Do you recommend using them? I don't know what green dot bank cards are. Chastity, do you know what that is?
Yeah, it's like a Walmart prepaid card.
Oh, is that a prepaid card, Linda? Like at Walmart where you get a prepaid card? I mean, it's, do I recommend using them? Well, I'd recommend using those over a debit card because at least you don't have to worry about your money getting hacked, your checking account getting hacked. I'd rather see you get a secured credit card so that way it's reporting to the bureaus every month and it's building your credit score. And so in a few years, you could get a secured or non or unsecured credit card. So if it's a bank card and it's prepaid, it's not going to be reported to your credit report. So it really doesn't help you at all. So I don't think I would recommend them. Steven says, it is 15,000, a half thousand, 5,000 in my pocket, trying to get a truck, looking for used the truck, 350 dually, 4x4 cab, 8-foot. So yeah, what he said. What Eric said, Stephen, go to a local credit union and they'll help you out. So that's what I would do. I mean, if you got 5,000 down, it's $15,000 trucks. You're essentially putting 3,000 down or 30% down. I mean, I just go to a local bank. Don't go to Wells Fargo, US Bank, or anything like that. Go to a local regional bank or a credit union, and they'll loan you money on it. And even if it's, let's say it's 10%, which is really high for a car loan. It should be in the 2 to 3% with decent credit. Let's say it's 10%. At least you got the loan, so now you're building your credit. You're going to pay that sucker down as fast as possible and leave $100 on it and let it ride for 4 or 5 years. The other advantage on that dually is if it's a work truck and it's got an 8-foot bed, because it's longer than 6-foot bed, it's going to have a higher than 6,000 GVWR, gross vehicle weight ratio, which means you can section 179 it on your taxes. So if you bought it today, it's a $15,000 truck. Regardless of how much you put down, if you put down nothing, you still get a $15,000 write-off tomorrow. So $15,000 today loan, $15,000 write-off tomorrow with no money out of your pocket. Section 179. Vehicle's got to be over 6,000 pounds, GVWR, and it has to have at least a 6-foot bed. If it is a truck, if it's an SUV, it doesn't have to have the bed. So that's another advantage of getting a truck. Now you get a $15,000 write-off, 50% tax bracket. You just save $7,500 in taxes. Kind of makes a truck 50% off. Okay. Jenny says, hi, Jenny. Jenny Beal says, is it normal for our score to go up and down after first round with you? You know, I'm going to say yes, but I want to break down that question because I want to do a little educating for you guys. So yes, it is normal for scores to go up and go down during the credit repair process. So there's somebody on this call right now, hired us. In 2 weeks, he went from a 514 to a 620, 106 points in 2 weeks. Part of that is from what we told him to do. He went out and got 3 credit cards and he used them the way I told him to do it. And he's up 100 plus points. So I think it was 514, either 512 or 514. But I do remember it was 620 on 2 of the 3 bureaus. So he got over 100-point increase. So does it answer your question? Yes, it's normal for it to fluctuate during the repair process. That's normal. However, I want to break something down. You said our score. Remember what I said earlier? You don't actually have a score. You don't have a score. I don't have a score. My credit report has a score. But here's the thing. We don't even have a credit report. We have a consumer disclosure file. See, the credit bureaus don't have like a file cabinet that they open up and they're like, all right, Jenny Beals needs her credit report. And they open up this file cabinet and they pull out her file. Doesn't work like that. Even when it was back when they had paper, it didn't work that way. So today you think, oh, well, maybe they have like a Dropbox file, like on a cloud server that you type in Jenny Beals and they like type it in, hit enter, and there's her file. It doesn't work that way. The way it works is this. Everybody's data, think about this. Tens of millions, if not hundreds of millions of people. So we'll go with 200 million people. There's 300 million in America. Anybody over the age of 18 has a credit file. You might not have a credit score, but you have a credit file. If you have a social security number over the age of 18, you have a file. So let's say there's 200 million people. All of that data is in one big box. It's not separated by files and folders and names and socials and date of birth. It's in one big file. So when your lender says, I want Jenny Beals' credit report, it goes out and looks for all of the Jennies. And it pulls all the Jennies out and everybody else stays in the file. Then it pulls the Jennies out and then it looks for Beals. Pulls all the Jenny Beals out and leaves everybody else in the file. Then we pull your social security number. I know you're from Oregon, so I don't know if you have an Idaho social or an Oregon, but it's probably 519. So then they're like, oh, 519, Jenny Beals, all the 51, anything other than 519s goes back in the main folder. So with credit reporting, it's not, they're not grabbing your data and pulling it out. They're pushing everybody else's data out. And you don't have to match a social security number and you don't have to match a birthday. My company pulls probably 3,000 credit reports a month. 3,000 every single month. How often do we use social security numbers? Not once. Don't need it. I don't need a full social security number to pull it. So to answer your question, is it normal to go up and down? Yes. It went down by 14 points. That could be because you used a credit card. I don't know why it went down, but it's normal. But you don't actually, no one has a score, no one has a report, no one has a file. It's in a big old pool with everybody else, and they're just extracting out what they think is not you. Kind of the opposite of our criminal system. You're innocent until proven guilty. Kind of like Facebook. You are guilty until you can prove innocent, and they just kick you off, right? Credit file is kind of the same way. It is what's not you that they give to the bank, not that it's guaranteed to be you. Okay, so hopefully you guys learned something from that. But it went down 14 points. Hey, look, it could be an inquiry. It could be you used a credit card, got a tank of gas. It could be we deleted an account that, you had a couple late payments on it and the account got deleted, but it was your oldest account. And because it's the oldest account, you lost 14 points, but you gained 10 on the other side. So it all depends. You'd have to look at it. And the other thing is it has to be in the same software. So it would have to be Credit Mojo to Credit Mojo. It can't be Credit Mojo against Credit Karma or Credit Mojo against Credit Check Total or Credit Mojo against FICO. It has to be Credit Mojo and a Credit Mojo. And if it goes down, it's probably because you used a credit card or we deleted an old account. And so because that old account's gone, you lost some points, but because we deleted the old account with late payments, you gained some points and it ends up being a net loss of 14. Next month, when you make a payment on an existing account, it goes right back up. So it's pretty normal. You're very welcome. Capital One, somebody, real quick, Chastity. Steve says, does Capital One do balance transfer checks? I think so. I think all of them, all of those big ones do. The ones that don't are like the American Express. I've never seen one with American Express because they make money. Because American Express is actually the bank. It's actually American Express. So every time you use an American Express, they get money. American Express is not a city card for American. It's an American card, American Airlines, Delta Airlines, United Airlines on an American Express bank card. So they don't generally do it because they make the money every time you swipe it. So I'm sure Capital One does it. Not the count that I have, but I'm sure they do. The ones that won't is like First Progress, First Premier, the small balance credit cards, the starter credit cards aren't going to do it. Go up to Brian Charles's question. That's a good one. So he's got two of them. Oh, he says, what are good credit cards to buy real estate? And then he says, also above that, he says, what are good credit cards to get? Look, any credit card, if you're going to do a flip, if I was doing fix and flips, I would do balance transfers to buy a house to pay for everything at 0% interest for 12 to 18 months. That's cool. But to buy a house, you got to be able to run that credit card through someone's merchant account, and they got to be willing to pay the 1.5% to 10% fee to run that card. I literally just canceled one of my merchant accounts. It was 10% by the end of the day, or at the end of the day, with all the fees and garbage in there. It's 10%. So most are 3%. So I'd say somebody's a card that has a high credit limit. If I was going to do it, and clients of mine that do use credit cards to purchase real estate and flip, they're almost exclusively business credit cards that don't report to your personal credit. So they're business cards, and they use those. I was talking to a buddy today. He was telling me about Fresno Bank. So if you're in California, Fresno Bank, if you open a business account with them and you put $50,000 a month in deposits, so you can put in 50 and spend 50 for 3 months in a row, on the 4th month, they'll give you a $100,000 business credit card. Fresno Bank, $50,000 a month. At the end of the 3rd month, they'll give you a $100,000 credit card for your business. And then you could use that credit card to go buy real estate in Indiana. You're not going to buy real estate in California for $100,000. So good question though. Need a lawyer to sue Santander? Well, I got somebody for you. So Robert, send me a DM with your contact information and your what's going on, and I will have Tina reach out to you. Tina works with a bunch of law firms that sue banks, collection companies, credit bureaus, and Santander. I have a friend that got I think it was $29 million or $30 million lawsuit that he won against Santander. So We can hook you up with the attorney that did that. They definitely need to be sued. Here's the thing with Santander. They probably have a auto loan on your credit report, and they are not an auto loan bank. They are a retail installment bank. They do retail installment loans. And a lot of people don't know this. Do you know who owns Santander? Chrysler Financial. That's who bought them recently. Chrysler Financial. So Santander does retail installment contracts, but they report it on your credit report as an auto loan, which is a violation of the Fair Credit Report Act, and that's how we get deleted, because it's not an auto loan. I don't care if you were late or not. It's not an auto loan. It is a retail installment contract. Brian says he calls the office. Don't call the office. Don't call the office. Send me a DM, and we'll send it to you. We have, we get thousands of phone calls, and right now we're in the middle of changing our software. So in 12 days, I started out saying that 12 days, we change our phone systems, we change our CRM, our software, everything. And then we're going to hire, probably in the month of June, we'll probably hire 15 to 20 people so we can keep up with the phone calls. We do have an answering service. They do all the after hours and then the overflow, but it is one of those things. Yes, we are hiring. Fortress is hiring. If you have sales experience, send me a DM, because we're going to be hiring. By the end of next year, we'll have over 5,000 people working with us as independent contracts and certified FICO credit professionals. There's going to be 3 different levels to our affiliate program. One is the standard, which is right now, you send us business, you get paid $75. Number 2 is you go through our training, get certified. You make about $150 to $200 per referral to us. And number 3, you can make that money, plus you can make money on everything we sell that client. So if they set up a 401k for their entire company, I did this 2 weeks ago. They got 30 plus employees, 30, 40 employees were setting up their 401k. If you'd referred that person to me, you could make literally $150,000 in referral fees for that stuff. Because we don't just do credit. We do taxes, we do real estate investing, apartment complexes, business credit, insurance, homeowner insurance, car insurance, workman's comp insurance, business insurance, renter's insurance, life insurance, 401ks, IRAs, Roth IRAs, SEPs, captives, all of it. So if you're a tier 3 affiliate, you can get paid on all of it. And it could be, I'm working on one right now. The commission will be almost $400,000. So if you refer that to me, you get 50%. So send me a DM if you're interested in that, and we'll send you the requirements. What's that last one, Santos, say, Justin? Oh, I didn't see that. No, you don't have to be in Vegas at all. Nope. In fact, we closed our office in Vegas in March 2020, March 26th, when the governor said you can't go into the office anymore. We closed it and we never reopened it. And I bought myself out of the lease. So do not need to be in Vegas. Everybody's working from their secure home offices. Santos, thank you so much. Love your team. You guys are awesome. Thank you. Team is cleaning up my credit report. Best credit repair company, period. Love it. Thank you, Santos. I would love it if you went to Google and said this exact same thing. Just copy and paste that. Go to Google and leave a review. I had one today. It was pretty funny. She said a bunch of stuff, and then I looked it up. It's not even a client. And then I did a little bit more research. Found out she owns a little credit repair company in California, leaving a bad negative review on my Google, and she owns a credit repair company. She's just trying to sabotage. So it's really silly. But love it if you put that review on Google for me. Appreciate it. Eric says American Express is his favorite card. American Express is a good card. They actually work with people if you get behind on payments. Thank you, Santos. I appreciate that. Thank you, Edna. Known Edna for a long time. All right, what else we got here, Chastity? That's it. That's all you guys got for me today? Nothing else? All right. Well, I'm going to go make me some dinner, and then I'm going to go do workout number 2. I'm on I think I'm on day 10 of 75 hard. Let me look. Day 10. I'm on day 10 of 75 hard. I got one workout to go and a half a gallon of water. I've been slacking today. So, but I'm going to get it done. If there's anything I can do for you guys, send me a DM. If you're interested in employment, send it over to me. On day or 12 days, Fortress University goes live. So you get all that stuff in 12 days. Stephen Hill says, when will we be on again? Next Thursday. I'll be back next Thursday. Unless I'm on an airplane or in Cozumel when we lose the internet, or Dominican Republic when we lose electricity, I will be on here every Thursday. And I'm trying to book, like, the reason I am here today and not in the air right now is I made my flight for tomorrow so I could do this today. So I truly try to make this, I make this a priority unless I absolutely have to miss it. If I miss it, then Chastity does it for me. So here's a question. Robert says, I was an authorized user on a credit card for like 5 years. Balance was low 500. Balance was about 500 bucks out of 11,000. Great utilization rate, 4.5, 5% utilization. Perfect. But the person maxed it out, dropped me 70 points. Can I get off the card without hurting my score? What a great question. I will respond with the answer with, it depends. But I'll break it down. It depends because, is that your only credit card, Robert? Is it your only credit card? Is it your oldest credit card? If it's your oldest and only credit card and we remove you from it, yeah, you're gonna get hit pretty hard. If it's not your only credit card and it's not your oldest credit card and we remove it and you've since established credit on your own after being on that card, you probably won't hurt you at all. In fact, you'll probably get that 70 points back. You drop the 70 points because they maxed it out. Now, here's a little interesting fact. The Fair Credit Report Act states that if a furnisher, like the bank that has this credit card, furnishes data to the credit reporting agencies, otherwise known as credit bureaus, the information must be accurate. So, hear me out. You said you are an authorized user, right? So, is it accurate that you owe $11,000? Did you use the credit card to purchase $11,000 worth of stuff? No. Your friend did. So is it accurate that you owe $11,000? I would say, you're saying yes? So no. So it's not accurate that you owe 11,000. So if it's not accurate, how can they legally report it? They can't. But the way the law is written, it's written in the favor of the banks and the credit bureaus. Why? Because they're the ones with the money. They're the ones that pay for the politicians' campaigns. They pay millions and millions of dollars in lobbyists every year to get their way. So there is a little part of the Fair Credit Report Act that says, essentially, they get a free pass until you point out the mistake and give them the opportunity to fix it. And if they miss it on the first round, you have to give them 2 opportunities to fix it. So it's kind of 2 get out of jail free cards. As long as they fix it before the 3rd time, you can't sue them. So legally, they are breaking the law, reporting the card maxed out on your credit report if you did not swipe $11,000 and your friend did. They can only report what you swiped. So how do you remove it? You simply call them up and ask them to remove you. And then it shows up on your credit report. You don't lose the history, but it will show as a closed account, zero balance, score goes right back up. So if I was you and you have existing credit cards and things are going well, I'd call them up and have your name taken off the authorized user list, and it'll show closed, balance due, zero. So hopefully that helps. What's the best car refinance loan? I have a Santander. Well, pretty much anything's better than Santander. I've never seen a good Santander loan. I like credit unions and small regional banks. Stay away from big banks. Chase, Citi, Wells Fargo, US Bank. Stay away from the big boys. Go with small regional banks and go with small credit unions. Do you guys know what fractional reserve banking is? Alfonso Gomez from Facebook. Do you know what fractional reserve banking or fractional reserve lending is? Fractional reserve lending is, or fractional reserve banking, same thing, allows banks to loan money based on your deposits. So that guy earlier, Steve, I think it was, wants to buy a $15,000 truck. If he goes to the bank and he asks for a $15,000 loan, the bank is actually not taking $15,000 of their own money and giving it to the car dealership. Not at all. They are taking your $1,500. You got $1,500 in your checking account or savings account. They are timesing it by 10, and Federal Reserve will give them $15,000 because you got $1,500 in there. They give them 10 times, and they loan out that $15,000. It's not their money. It's not your $1,500. It's fractional reserve from Federal Reserve goes in, and they can loan it based on their deposits, money under management, 10%, 10 times. They 10x'd it. Now, if it's a small regional bank or small credit union, remember I keep telling you, regional banks, credit unions, why? They get to 60x. So you put $1,000 in there, or the same case, $1,500, they get $90,000 from the Federal Reserve that they can loan out to someone. 60 times more. This is why you see these big banks like Wells Fargo is notorious for this. They go and they buy up all these regional banks because when they buy them, they still get 60x on the money. Where Wells Fargo only gets 10x on the money, but this little bank that Wells Fargo bought gets 60x on the money. So now they can pump advertising for the small bank, and now essentially Wells Fargo is getting 60 times. You put $1,000 in, they loan out 60,000. Now they get 30% interest on the 60,000. So for every $1,000 you put in your bank, they are making $18,000 to $30,000. Think about that. If you put $1,000 in your bank and they loan out 60,000 at 30% interest on credit cards, they're making $18,000 a year in interest on your $1,000 savings account. Have the banks figured out how money works? I think they have. So regional bank would be the best place to go. Small bank, credit union, etc. Yeah, so you've been making payments 7 months on time. FICO's increasing. Thanks to your company. Awesome. Yeah, what'll happen is once you hit your 25th month, your score will even go higher. So 90% of all late payments happen the first 2 years, so you're getting punished because it's less than 2 years old. Amador. How do you say that, Chastity? Amador. Herrera says, Amador says Herrera, and if I butchered, I'm sorry. It says, will some of your Milet Management Group members have opportunity to help with Fortress University? Yeah, in fact, those are my tier three affiliates. That's really what we're doing is once our change goes through, probably July, we'll really start pushing the affiliate program. That's like we'll have 5,000 affiliates. A lot of them will be with my Malari group or Milet management team, and allows people to come in from credit repair. We teach them how to become business owners. They set up their own business. They eliminate the majority of their income tax from their W-2 income. And then they can start writing off vacations, cars, watches, rental homes, whatever, food as in dining out. And then all through the Milet management stuff. And then they can make money on the credit repair and the insurance side too, or whatever they end up doing. Okay. Santos says, I want to join the business credit for my business. How long is the process? It depends. It depends on the work that you put in. We do have business credit will be part of Fortress University. The basic part of it will be part of Fortress University. And then we'll have a bonus part where it's essentially $5,000. So you pay $5,000 and we get you a minimum $50,000 in credit cards, minimum. And you can get a maximum. But right now we have 42 banks that are in our software. We go in, put in your data, hit submit, it applies for 42 credit cards all at once. And you can get anywhere from $10,000 to $50,000 per credit card. And it's a one-time fee of $5,000 for that $50,000. So that has been in beta for a little bit. Today I had a call with the creator of the software, and it's up and running. So we can do that as soon as someone's ready to go with it. In fact, next week I'm releasing that to all my existing business credit clients. So how send you a DM on Facebook? Go to Messenger or on Instagram. But he was on Facebook. So Robert just on Facebook. Oh, on YouTube. You can DM me on Instagram or Facebook. I know you can't really do it. I know it sucks. You can't do it on YouTube. You can leave a comment, but then everybody sees it. So I would do it on Instagram or Facebook, or you can send me an email, Rondi, RONDI, at rondilambert.com. Pretty simple. Rondi at rondilambert.com. Bonzo, will 24-month car payment history restart when I refi? Yeah, it will. It will, my friend. It will hurt you a little bit, but look, credit's not supposed to be treated like a trophy. It's not supposed to be this shiny trophy that you put up on the mantle and you polish it. When your friends come over, you're like, hey, everybody, look at my credit score. Look at it. Look how shiny and pretty it is. Oh, my little trophy. Credit is meant to be used. Sometimes it gets dinged up. It's okay. So, Alfonso, will your credit score go down when you refinance your Santander 30% interest loan? Yes. But if you're saving a lot of money, who cares? I'll give you an example. And I've talked about this before, and I talk about, my struggles and my mistakes. 2019, my person who ran my company for the last 6.5 years, part of that, quit, took my best salesperson with him, and I got divorced, and I got hit with a lawsuit and a whole bunch of other crap. And I was just getting off a year of chemo with my Lyme disease. So 2019 was pretty rough for me. I had $700,000 of credit card debt, one of which was American Express. And I owed them approximately $140,000. And I was making $10,000 a month payments on it. I'd had it paid off in less than a year because I had $550,000 on the other cards that I was paying also that was going to get paid off. And so eventually I'd pay off American Express. So they call me and they're like, hey, this $10,000 a month thing is not working for us. You need to pay the full thing tomorrow. I'm like, I can't. I don't have 140 grand in cash. Sorry, guys, I'll keep paying 10 grand. They're like, nope, not going to accept it. So I paid the $10,000. They literally kept calling me and they reported me late. So I'm like, all right, well, there's the late payment. So guess what I did? I took the $10,000 that I was paying American Express and I put it on another credit card. And in 1 year, less than a year, I had all of my credit cards paid off except for American Express. And I stopped making payments in like June or July 2019 on my Amex card. Come March or April of 2020, I get a phone call from Amex. They're willing to settle. They'll settle for $80,000. I'm like, I don't have $80,000. I'll pay you guys monthly. Nope, not going to accept anything less than 80. All right, call me back later. So this went on. It was around May-ish, end of April, early May. They called me. They're like, all right, we'll take 50. I said, look, I think it was 32,000. I got $32,000 in my checking account right now. I could wire to you tomorrow if you will forgive the other 140,000 plus that 20% interest for the last year. Put me on hold. I said, let me ask supervisor. Come back. They're like, no, we'll take 40. I said, I got 32. That's all I got. I owe you 140 plus probably another 40,000 in fees and interest, so 180 somewhere there. I got 32,000. That's all I got. Take it or leave it. Put me on hold. Come back. This whole thing took over an hour. Come back. All right, we'll take the $32,000. When can you send it? I'm like, I will go to the bank right now and you'll have it, because it was after 2 o'clock. You'll have it tomorrow. So I went to the bank. I wired $32,000. Guess what I have on my credit report on 2 of the 3 bureaus? I have a charge off of $140,000. I saved at least $110,000 in principal, another 40 or 50 in interest and fees. So was it worth it for me to have a charge off my credit report for the next 7 years if I leave it there for a 50-point drop? I still have a 780 credit score on the 2 that it shows, and 809 or 810 on the other one, because I actually disputed and I got it removed from one. Was it worth it for me to save $110,000 to $150,000 to have a lower credit score for the next few years? I would say yes. A big, fat yes. Yeah, it sucks to have a charge off my credit report. Has it stopped me from getting loans? Not one bit. Has it stopped me from getting a mortgage? Has it stopped me from getting new credit cards? I just got this new credit card right here. Check this out. Got this new card. $50,000 credit limit. I get 15 nights a year on Marriott, automatic gold status, free breakfast, a whole bunch of free shit with it. 100,000 points, $95 a month or $95 a year annual fee. Did the charge off stop that? Not at all. So my point to all of this is credit should be used to generate wealth for you. If by refinancing your car, it lowers your credit score a little bit, but you save a bunch of money, which then allows you to pay off debt or invest, then I think it's worth it. So I think I'm going to end there. Okay. Credit is a tool, not a trophy. All right. Appreciate each and every one of you. See you later.